Hello and welcome to Look North. Our top story this Friday evening. A mother and her partner are convicted of murder over the killing of her 15-year-old son, repeatedly attacked at home.
Rather than seek help for Sebastian, efforts were made to remove the CCTV cameras and hide them away from the police.
Sebastian Kalinowski told no one about the abuse he was subjected to. Also tonight, a community gets on board to help fix up a school reading bus after it was damaged by vandals. Serving up a tasty treat, the Bradford Curry Awards are back, along with a new curry melon. And a soggy start for the Tramlines Festival, with hundreds of thousands of people expected in Sheffield.
And it's been a rather overcast day, as you can see from this picture taken this morning at Filey. It's also been rather chilly, but things are going to get milder through the weekend. I'll be back later in the programme with all the details.
Hello, thank you for joining us. First tonight, we start with a truly horrific story of a young man murdered in his own home at the hands of the very people who should have protected him. Sebastian Kalinowski was abused over months by his mother and her partner. They used CCTV inside the house to control and monitor him, but the cameras also recorded how they attacked him. David Rhodes has our first report tonight from Leeds Crown Court. You may find some of the details distressing.
They were the people meant to love and care for a 15-year-old boy. Instead, a mother and her partner tortured a child to death. Today, 35-year-old Agnieszka Kalinowska and 38-year-old Andrzej Latozecki were found guilty at Leeds Crown Court of the murder of Sebastian Kalinowski. Sebastian, who arrived in the UK in 2020, suffered for months. He was beaten, punched and whipped with cables at this family home in Huddersfield, dying in August last year of his wounds. After the verdicts were delivered, Sebastian's mother, Kalinowska, sobbed uncontrollably in the dock, whilst Latozecki sat with his head bowed. Having endured 5 weeks of horrific evidence, and what the court heard was the torturing of a 15-year-old boy, the judge, Honourable Mrs. Justice Lambert, turned to the jury and said their efforts in this case went beyond the call of duty. In a statement, West Yorkshire Police said,
"Detectives and partners in the CPS firmly believe that the charge of murder truly reflected the physical abuse Latozecki and Kalinowska inflicted on Sebastian, and we are pleased they've been found guilty of this offence."
During the 6-week trial, the court heard that no public authority had reason to believe Sebastian was being abused. However, the country's leading children's charity told Look North tonight,
"People will be asking how any child in our society could suffer such an appalling campaign of abuse without anyone intervening. That is why it's so important that no stone is left unturned in the review looking into the circumstances around his death."
Kalinowska and Latozecki will be sentenced in October, with the judge saying today that conviction for murder brings with it a mandatory life sentence. David Rhodes, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Well, rather than seek help in Sebastian's final hours, the couple waited for 2 hours trying to cover their tracks before calling for help. He'd been in the UK for less than a year. Emma Glasby remembers the life of a model student cut short by cruelty.
The quiet 15-year-old Polish boy who told no one about the pain he endured behind closed doors. Sebastian Kalinowski was murdered by those who should have cared for him in the home in Huddersfield where he should have been safe.
This is the house where Sebastian was murdered in August last year. The rib fractures he'd suffered in beatings led to an infection from which he died. Now, the abuse here intensified during the national lockdown at the start of 2021. CCTV had been installed inside the house to monitor and control Sebastian. But it was that CCTV that recorded the cruelty and the attacks on a defenceless 15-year-old boy.
The CCTV captured the final hours of Sebastian's life as his mother and her partner tried to protect themselves.
From the point Sebastian was laid on the floor unconscious, it was over 2 hours until an ambulance was called, and the self-interests of the perpetrators was that rather than seek help for Sebastian, efforts were made to remove the CCTV cameras and hide them away from the police.
Andrzej Latozecki was into bodybuilding and martial arts. He also used anabolic steroids. The jury had to watch harrowing footage of him beating Sebastian Agnieszka Kalinowska would watch TV as her partner attacked her son. Sometimes she beat Sebastian herself. Neighbours were horrified when the truth came to light.
Just to understand that something so horrible to someone so small was happening not 50 yards behind our house, in a place that was supposed to be a sanctuary of safety. What can you even say? It's horrific.
Sebastian had been living with his father in Poland and had been in the UK less than a year. He'd started at the North Huddersfield Trust School. When lockdown began, Sebastian was offered a place at school because he was new to the country, but he was often kept at home where his bruises could be hidden. It seems school was the only place he was happy.
He would walk sometimes a way that I would drive in, and I would see him. I would know how early or late I was by where he was up the hill.
As Sebastian began to learn English, his teachers saw his confidence grow.
He was happy to ask for help, ask for support, and spend as much time as he could in school. So he would come for breakfast club, which is from say 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, and he'd often be here 3:30, 4 o'clock, just engaging in clubs. And what everybody says who spoke about him, he had a really kind of wicked sense of humour that didn't always come through from the way that he might have been seen as quite shy and quiet.
Sebastian never confided in anyone about what was happening at home. Lockdown made it easier for his killers to hide the truth. Pupils and teachers at his school have their memories as they mourn the loss of their friend.
Very difficult, I mean, I think that's why we try to focus on the memory of Sebastian and who he was, who he still is. And staff have talked about his lovely smile, he's kind of those little bits of sense of humour as he was developing. And I know that a lot of his year group have got fond memories of him and are keen to keep hold of that memory.
Sebastian would have been 16 and finishing school, the model pupil who came to the UK for a new life and suffered unthinkable cruelty. Emma Glasby, BBC Look North, Huddersfield.
OK, let's get some other news in brief now. The leadership of St Leonard's Hospice in York is in need of improvement, according to a report out today by the Care Quality Commission. A spot check was done in April following a number of complaints about whistleblowing calls, whilst the service overall is rated good, down from outstanding previously. The hospice has been told that they must improve some parts of their recruitment competency assessment and staff appraisals. The hospice says they recognise the improvements they need to make and had already identified some of these with the CQC prior to the inspection and are delighted with the overall rating of good. Two West Yorkshire men who helped steal £30,000 worth of chewing gum have been given suspended sentences and ordered to carry out community service. 18-year-old Kieran Sanderson from Birstall and 20-year-old Ellis Beneke from Leeds cut open a lorry as the driver slept at services on the M5 in May. They fled the scene after police were called. Gloucester Crown Court heard the heist was to cancel a debt. Now we have some details of the funeral service for our colleague and friend Harry Gratian, who died very suddenly at the end of June. Today it's been confirmed Harry's funeral will take place on the 1st of August at York Minster at 11:30. We will take the chance to reflect on Harry's life that day, as I'm sure many of you will. The service is expected to be very well attended by many, many people whose lives Harry touched. OK, next tonight it's time for our taste buds to do the talking. This weekend sees the return of Bradford's famous Curry Awards and the city's first ever Curry Mela. Behind the Madras magic are Fatima Patel, the event organiser, and Radha Kaushal-Bolland, a finalist from MasterChef, who I'm sure our viewers will be familiar with. Fatima, tell me about the Mela, because we know about the Curry Festival and we know about the Bradford Mela. What is this then?
So the Curry Mela is an extension of the Curry Awards. So every year, bar the last 2 years, obviously because of COVID, we get the Bradford's Curry industry together to celebrate and to recognise the achievers of the industry. And basically just have a big party and show off that, Bradford is the best when it comes to curry. Now, obviously, because we've had this 2-year gap with COVID, we've not been able to host the awards. And also now with Bradford having won the City of Culture, we thought this year we need to do something different. We need to have a bigger celebration, not just an awards night, but really sort of make an impact. So we thought, what can we do? So Mela basically means gathering. So we thought, let's have a curry gathering. So, get everybody together, but this is just specifically Bradford people, Bradford curry industry.
It sounds a fantastic concept, I have to admit. Radha, you did fantastically well on MasterChef. How important is curry in your repertoire then?
It's, I'm very, very lucky that I've got a dual heritage. My dad's English, my mum's Indian, and the food that we have in the household is it's Indian food. It's within every Indian household that that they eat. So for me, curry is really important. It's really, really important.
And of course, Bradford has this fine reputation of being a curry capital, doesn't it? Does that make you proud to feel that way when you read about Bradford and its sort of fame on the map because of its cuisine?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not just 1 year, but 6 years, several years, some people say. Definitely really proud, and we do believe we are the best. You just have to come onto the streets of Great Horton Road and Leeds Road on an evening and you'll see they're packed out, not just with local people, but with people from all over. So we're absolutely proud of that title, and we want to live up to that for sure.
Radha, very quickly, briefly, how easy is it for people like me to cook curry?
Do you know what? Cooking food should be enjoyed, it should be fun, and you can make it as easy or as hard as you want. So you can make everything from scratch, or you can go out to a supermarket and you can buy a paste if you want to. It should be fun and it should be enjoyed.
And it's always exceptionally tasty. I had some yesterday at a school in Halifax and it was absolutely beautiful. So ladies, I wish you all the best with it, and thank you so much for your time coming in today.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Now, children at Gladstone Road Primary School in Scarborough were heartbroken a few weeks ago when their double-decker bus was broken into and vandalised. The school is very small and had planned a unique new reading space inside the old bus, but it was destroyed before it was even used. Well, the local community has helped out to put things right, as Carla Fowler explained.
Fixing broken dreams. In the schoolyard at Gladstone Road Primary in Scarborough, volunteers have come together to do a DIY rescue job on Ruby, the double-decker bus. It should have had a grand opening last month, but plans for the decommissioned bus to become a breakout classroom and reading space were dashed when vandals broke in overnight and destroyed all the school's hard work.
The children were devastated, all the community was devastated. What we were really delighted by was the outpouring of support following the break-in. Parents, lots of businesses in the local area who were offering, their services and donations to help put it right.
From small local builders to established coach makers, the Scarborough community stepped up to help.
And it's the least we could do because it's a great school, the staff are good, and as soon as I read it, our workshop's only 100 yards away. So it was quite easy for us to get involved.
It's good, that's what we should be doing, supporting local communities. And obviously it's good to suddenly see all kids have been asking us questions when we've been down here.
Now at last it's time for the children to get on board. So what do they make of their new classroom on wheels?
I think it's great and I love going on the top of a double-decker. It's exciting and joyful.
This is awesome. I've never been on a bus before, and if it's what they're like, then I'm probably going to be going on buses a lot more often.
Even though it was destroyed, it's been fixed really well and it's really good.
I love it.
High praise from the top deck of the class. Carla Fowler, BBC Look North, Scarborough.
Yeah, well done to everybody involved in that effort. Let's get some sports news now. It was a great night for the Leeds Rhinos, who did the double over Wigan in Super League. First up were the women, who ran out very comfortable 64-6 winners over the Warriors. Georgia Roche was the standout player for the Rhinos, at the heart of their attack. She scored 2 tries and was involved in most of the others too. It was then the men's turn to put in a terrific performance to beat Wigan. The final score was 42 points to 12 in their favour. That victory keeps alive the Rhinos' hopes of reaching the end-of-season playoffs. Huddersfield Giants have announced the surprise signing of for next season of the former St Helens star Kevin Ngama. The Fijian international spent 3 seasons at Saints and they won the grand final in each one. More recently, he has been playing for the Sydney Roosters. And Yorkshire bowler Catherine Brunt took a career best figures to help England beat South Africa. She took 4 wickets for 15 in the T20. Brunt will shortly be representing England at the Commonwealth Games. Now to Sheffield, where turning up, chilling out and kicking back is Kathy Booth. She's at Hillsborough Park, where the Tramlines party has begun. Kathy.
Hi Phil, yes, welcome to Tramlines Festival in Hillsborough Park. James have just taken to the stage behind me. It's absolutely buzzing here. They're expecting up to 40,000 music fans every day over the weekend to see acts including Sam Fender, Kasabian, Madness and my personal favourite, Sheffield's own Self-Esteem. Well, this festival has grown and developed over the 13 years it's been running, from a free city centre event to this huge event here in Hillsborough Park. And this year there's been one talking point, the re-entry policy. This year, if you come into the festival, you're in. You can't go home for your tea or to take a break. If you leave, you can't come back in, basically. And some businesses are not very happy about this, saying that it could affect their trade. Corinne Wheatley reports.
The party has started at Hillsborough Park. Tramlines should mean big business for traders in Sheffield, but some say that's in doubt. A recently introduced no re-entry policy means once you're in, you're in. And businesses in Hillsborough say they won't feel the benefit of having such a big event on their doorstep.
We won't get as much trade through today, I'd expect. We'll probably be very quiet in the evening whilst headline acts are on and a big rush at the end. Given that Tramlines started out as a community-based festival, to now have potentially a festival in the park but nothing else being able to benefit from around it or as much as possible is rather frustrating.
Pub owner Janine, who works with a local business group, says many are concerned. Not only are they unlikely to see many festival goers, their regulars will avoid the area.
Certainly on some businesses, I might close for the period because I won't get any customers. So it seems that we are losing out on the park for 3 weeks as a community, but also we're not benefiting too much as businesses. We don't want to say, take Tramlines away, it's a negative thing. We're looking for a win-win situation.
The festival says the no re-entry policy has been agreed with the city's authorities as a way to keep people safe and reduce antisocial behaviour. But how popular is it with festival goers?
We've got 3 children, so it has a massive impact. You know, you pay a lot for your tickets and then the food's quite expensive, the drink is. So yeah, it would be a little bit easier if we could nip out.
I'm not really bothered, to be honest. It's like once you're in, it's like I don't want to miss anyone.
I think that especially in the current climate, it makes it more affordable if people can come and go.
I suppose I am feeling it a little bit. It would be nice to go and get a change of clothes or what have you.
Figures from 2019 show that Tramlines is worth £1.2 million to the city's economy, and it benefits local charities like this one at Hillsborough Arena, which has received funding.
It sort of puts Hillsborough on the map as not necessarily a place that people would have visited previously, and I think as the festival grows and you want sort of the bigger acts, it's got to grow. So yeah, I just see it as a positive.
Up to 40,000 people will be heading to Tramlines each day this weekend, and there's fringe events in the centre of Sheffield. A golden opportunity perhaps, just one that not all businesses feel a part of. Corinne Wheatley, BBC Look North at Hillsborough Park.
Well, earlier I spoke to Tramlines boss Tim Cleesby about the re-entry policy, and this is what he had to say.
We have 35,000 people on site. If we allow, let's say 10% to come and go 3 times, that's another 21,000 people I've got to deal with through the gates. So that's a huge amount of pressure on our resources when, you know, we set up for 35,000 people. Secondly, you know, we're a big event now. We've got a lot of responsibility. Keeping people safe and looking after them, and the Safety Advisory Group, when we discussed this policy with them, said that they had noticed last year a huge dip in pressure on their resources.
Have you been surprised by the backlash to it from people and businesses?
There's still a majority of people that are quite happy to come and enjoy the festival and enjoy it how you know they can. But there is a group of people that are not very happy, and yeah, but it did take us by surprise a little bit. Yeah.
And what would you say to the businesses who are saying, you know, this event is damaging my business?
Okay, yeah, I get that. What I would say is that their only experience of it is 2021, when we'd just come out of COVID. We'd just come out of lockdown. I'm hoping this year that Hillsborough will see an increase in people coming to see them. It's certainly what we want, absolutely. And we work a lot with local businesses. You know, there's a lot of local businesses that we are involved with. There's a lot of people that we support locally. We do a lot of stuff with the community in Hillsborough. The Tramlines Trust that we've set up is geared towards community, 100%. We work with local schools. We have an internship with the colleges and with both universities. So we have routes into industry for people. We support a lot of local businesses already. We're not just this faceless corporation that doesn't care. That's absolutely not the case. We love Sheffield and we love Hillsborough. We love Hillsborough Park. It's our home and we want to be good neighbours.
Well, it's the music that brings everybody to Tramlines, isn't it? Whether it's huge established acts like James or uncovering the next big thing or even a novelty act, there's something for everybody here at the festival. And I've been out and about today speaking to some of the musical talent of Tramlines. August Charles on to the stage at Tramlines this afternoon. It's a huge step up for the artist from Doncaster, who was here last year on a press pass.
I was also working at a radio station in Doncaster called Sign FM. I had my own radio show and I wanted to do a Tramline special, so I was here the whole weekend interviewing people and just getting to see what everyone's feeling.
So you've gone from, you know, the press pass to a proper stage. Where will we see you next year?
Where will you see me next year? I don't tend to look too far into the future. I'm one of those people that just likes to take every day as it comes. I don't know where I'll be next year. I didn't know I would be here this year, so I don't really think too deeply into it, if you know what I mean.
Just ambition.
Main stage, well, of course. I mean, it'll be wonderful to be on main stage, and I would enjoy it. But again, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'll be here as a fan anyway.
From breaking new talent to established bands, James have been in the biz 40 years. I caught up with frontman Tim Booth over the road in their Hillsborough Green Room.
We are so blessed to have been going 40 years and been able to make a living from this whilst pursuing our own ruthless artistic direction. And hardly any bands get that. So the fame thing of the 90s is an illusion because we are now bigger than we were in the 90s, yet we're not generally on TV a lot or on Radio 1 played. But our records, our last 3 records in the last 6 years have all charted in the top 5.
But what if your favourite band want to do new material? Well, enter the Covers Band. This is the Girl Power Experience. Ladies, you do Spice Girls and so much more, don't you?
Yeah, so we do loads of covers from big female artists such as Aretha Franklin to Beyonce, like TLC, Little Mix. We've got all covered.
Amazing. And what sort of reaction do you get from festival audiences like this?
Usually lots of singing along, dancing, everyone wants to get involved. Yeah.
Amazing. Everybody loves girl power, so give us a little bit of a song. Go for it.
1, 2, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I want you, I want you.
Aren't they amazing? Well, Tramlines is absolutely buzzing this evening. It's a bit of a rainy start to proceedings this afternoon. It's dried up now. Here's a little look at what's been going on around the festival today. So there you go. It's going to be quite a weekend here at Tramlines. But for now, that's all from us. Back to you, Bodders.
Thank you very much, Boothie. A little bit soggy in Sheffield. It's going to be a wet weekend, dare I say?
No, I don't think it will be, actually. I think it's certainly going to warm up because it's only been 15 or 16 degrees for a lot of the afternoon there. So it's getting milder, a little bit of rain maybe, but it's not going to be a washout for the festival. And the same can be said right across Yorkshire. We are going to see those temperatures climbing after a disappointingly cool day today. Some sunshine tomorrow morning, but the cloud redeveloping again for the afternoon, and not everywhere will stay dry. So low pressure is dominating our weather through the weekend, but no meaningful rain. That's the problem. It is going to be rather breezy, and it is going to get milder as we pick up more of a southerly flow, with temperatures climbing on Sunday to the mid-20s. There's been a lot of cloud around today. There's actually been some showery rain in places as well. This is the satellite picture from earlier. If anything, we'll see that rain easing as we head through the next few hours. A lot of cloud overnight, and we could see some showers returning from the west, and then clearer spells developing and spreading eastwards as we head towards morning, with temperatures falling back to around 12 or 13 degrees. Let's have a quick look at those high water times all around 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow, any rain or any showers in the east will clear away. A good deal of dry and bright weather, some sunshine for us all to enjoy through the morning, but the cloud will thicken from the west through the afternoon, with some pockets of rain and drizzle spilling eastwards. Not a washout, but there will always be that risk. It will, though, be milder than today, with temperatures up at around 22 or 23 degrees and becoming increasingly breezy through the afternoon as well. And that breeze will continue into Sunday. Sunday, temperatures higher still. We could in some places get into the mid-20s, and it will be rather blustery, as I mentioned. Quite a bit of sunshine, some bright or sunny spells through Sunday. At the moment, it doesn't look like many of the showers across the UK will affect us, but it's worth watching the forecast because that could change. The temperatures take a dip into the early part of next week, but climb again as we head towards next weekend. Philip.
Thank you, Keely. That's it for now. I'll be back with a late bulletin at 10:30. We'll see you then. Have a good Friday evening.